Shalom, everybody, and welcome to ReligionWinked TV, where my spiritual ears stay. Hey, guys. To those who celebrate Easter, happy Easter. I hope your day is going well. To those of us that know it's the blessed resurrection, shalom, and may God be with you, right? Guys, we're going to talk about many against one today. Just think about it. What's many against one? How can we interpret this, right? Well, I'm gonna let the music play. I'll pull up my chat box and get my information together. Just basically gonna tell you a little story in line with this resurrected, blessed, happy Easter Sunday, right? Go back and watch the video right before this one. Why do you worship Easter? What does it mean to you, right? Alright, so I'm waiting for my chat box to pull up. How's everybody doing? We had a wonderful family dinner, like lunch, brunch. It was more like lunch. We got together at 12. It kind of ended by 4. Everybody was back home doing their own thing. How was your Easter? Alright, so it looks like I'm getting to my chat box. Things are going a little slow. Just bear with me, guys. Because when I say many against one, just think about it. It could be a whole lot of this against one, a whole lot of that against one. It could be many people against one. I'm going to tell you an Easter story. If that's what you want to hear. All right, let's see. Things are slow. So we had a little, first of all, this is ReligionWinked TV, and my spiritual ears say. So guys, what did you have for your Easter meal? So far, we had a little bit of everything. It was about 30 of us that got together from all different parts of, you know, I'll say the state, actually, the state of New York. We all got together. Only one didn't show up was my mom. Other than that, pretty much everybody showed up. We had a good time. We had the traditional, the greens, the mac salad, mac and cheese, potato salad, white rice. We had the rolls. We had jerk chicken, hot and mild. We had fried chicken. We had double eggs. What else was there? Oh, we had these little meatballs or whatever. So it was pretty cool. It was good to be with the family. I got plenty of footage, y'all. Oh my God. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all a story about many against one, right? So basically, today is what the Christians in the world call Easter. And, we know with Easter, there's the resurrected Sunday. And I've been telling you guys, how does it go from March to April, April to March, and back and forth? There's some, deception there, whatever. But I'm just going to tell you a story. Thanks to the one person watching. I'm going to tell you a story in reference to Easter and the Christ and how it was many against him. And you're like, what are you talking about, right? So before I get into that story, it doesn't have to be long. I'm going to try to go about 10 minutes here just to give it some grounds for advertisement once I get monetized, right? So basically, when I think about many against one, I thought about the latest situation that happened on YouTube with Tasha K and Candace Daytime Tea Time TV, um basically I realized that hold on one second. That when somebody goes against Tasha K, it would be that person and all of their following against Tasha K, right? If Tasha K goes against Jenna Kramer, who is just one person, it would be Tasha K against and all her winos against Jenna Kramer. It's many against one, right? And sometimes that's how, beef goes. It's like you'll have one person being attacked, but the person that's doing attacking bring a whole beehive like Beyonce would, or bring a whole Barty gang like Cardi, or bring the whole Nicki Minaj. What do they call Nicki Minaj? But you understand what I'm saying, right? And that's real. It's like it's never a one-on-one beef or a one-on-one encounter. It's always many against one, right? So I was sitting here, I was, full off the food and everything and kick back. You know how you want to get home and take your heels off, and if you wear wigs, you want to just lay it to the side real quick. Well, I was in that kind of mood. I'm like, let me bring my butt home and just talk to the people about many against one. Have you ever found yourself in that position where there has been many against you for whatever reason? I told you the last job I had, I was pretty much, it was 8 women, one part-time lady. It was 7 against one. It was all of them teaming up on me for whatever reason. And thank God for his grace, right? But it was many against one. In a family, you might have brother and sister, siblings go at it, right? But the other siblings may team up with the one side, or the mom and dad may team up with the one sibling, and it'll be the household against the one, right? So I always like to go back, spiritually, and see how, or to the Bible, and see if there was many against one. And I did come across a story where there was many against one when it came to Christ. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can pull up that account. And I'm going to read it from 2 different versions. All right. And the reason why I'm telling you about many against one is because you're not alone. If you feel like there's a lot of people against you right now, there's nothing new under the sun, and you're not alone. There's other people who have been in a situation where there's been many against the one. You know what I'm saying? So let me pull this up right here. And this is really going to freak some people out. But again, it's nothing to be afraid of, nothing to be scared of. But Christ was up against many, and I'm going to let you know how. All right, let me pull it up. I'm going to read it and show you how watered down one account can be. And then I'm going to read it again from the Bible. Well, it's the same Bible, but all right, here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and read this, and I'm going to tell you the story, an Easter story. It is biblically related. Today is Easter. Christ is the resurrected. So anything to do with him that you're learning today is amazing. So let me get my readers. And basically, people like to label the accounts of the Bible. So I'm going to go ahead and read from Mark 5, 1 through, oh, it gives me a good little account of it. Okay. Let me see. Let me cross-reference it with the Bible. Thank you to everybody that showed up. Thank you. Thank you to the one person. I appreciate you. I'm going to open my Bible up to Mark 5, 1 and 20. And be ready to read it. After I read it, I'm going to read you the New International Version, and I'm going to read from the King James, okay? So let's get to Mark 5, 1 and 20. I'm a music girl and I'm going to get me some music. But right now, this is what we have, guys. All right. We'll keep it low. All right. So let me go ahead and get to Mark 5, 1 through 20. Another way you can look at many against one is when you're playing sports. Kickball. Let's start simple, right? You get up to kick the ball. It's you against the field, right? It's you against many. A batter gets up to bat, right? It's the batter against the 9 people on the field, right? Same thing with a punter in football. When the punter get ready to punt the ball, or not punt it, but the kickoff, the kick return, that's what it is, right? It's the kick return, right? So when the kick return gets ready to kick the ball, you got many bum rushing them in, right? Many against one, right? So when this music go ahead and kind of settles down or whatever ends, I'm going to read you the account from the um, New International Version, and then I'm going to read it from the Bible of the King James Version, because one thing I noticed is when they try to translate the word of God out, it makes it sound crazy. It's not the same. It's almost watered down. So again, all right, you're gonna learn a lot in this account. Basically, they label the Bible like certain chapters and give you a description of what the chapter is about. Jesus restores a demon possessed man. Like, what does that have to do with many against one, right? Well, there's a lot of people out in this world that's strong. This is Religion Wing TV, and my spiritual ears stay. Guys, there is a lot of people out in the world, right? Let me see if I can get here to let me go here. I'm just gonna try to pull up my chat and see if I can go ahead and share some links or whatever. But many against one. How does Christ restores the demon possessed man have to do with many against one? I'm about to tell you. I'm gonna tell you guys. Okay, so thank you to the 2 people watching. I appreciate that. So I'm gonna go. I was about to go ahead and share some links here. Um, my channel link, you guys can go ahead and share if you want to. Click on it, subscribe to it. This is the first one is channel link. Please subscribe and share. The next one is going to be definitely um I do have a Patreon. You guys can go over. I'm going to go over and start slamming some real content. I mean, the same thing I've been doing here, but preaching style, teaching style, aggressive style, because our people are still asleep. They perish for lack of knowledge. You can't sugarcoat or pamper or pet or smooth over the word of God. You have to give it to the people the way it is. And I'm gonna read you two different accounts here and show you how The New International Version of the Bible is much watered down than the King James Version. But then this book that we have is even more so watered down than the Hebrew Bible. So please become a patron over there. You have different tiers you can, join at. I appreciate that. And of course, because I believe the word of God is free, but my time, the way God gives it to me, how I deliver it to you people, to my people, to God's people, is worthy of donations, love, support, gifts, whatever. I'm open to, being blessed by you. If this ministry over here is blessing you, absolutely. I'm not afraid to take a donation because I don't put my money to usury, which if you bless me, I'm not going to use anybody. To whom much is given, much is required. The more I take in, the more equipment I can buy, the more outings and events I can go to. I mean, why should I take all my money, give you the word of God free, then all the events I go through, all the things I do? Like, come on, if you want to be a part of this ride, absolutely. I will receive of it. So you have the 4 links right there. Let's get into it. I even want to see, let me see if I can share this. If I can share this, I will. So you can at least get the account. I'm using the fair use clause here. I should really pull it up if I'm going to use that. But I'm gonna say I'm using the fair use clause, okay? So with that being said, as soon as it stopped buffering, guys, here we go. Every time I go to give y'all the best content and put on the best show, something weird always happens with this computer. All right, so it's running slow. So how was your Easter? I don't really per se celebrate the Easter bunny. It overshadows the resurrection too much, and the world run around and give more praise, all right, to the Easter bunny than to the Most High God. I can't get with that. So I should be sharing everything. Let me say thank you over here on this tablet while that's pulling up. All right, so you should be able to see the same article I'm about to read from. Let's see that come up. Again, I'm using the Fair Use Act. Thank you to the 2 people watching. Listen, this is many against one, y'all. I explained earlier on, I don't want to stay more than a half hour. I explained, even if it goes an hour, I got approved to put videos up over 15 minutes. So, because they know I'm a teaching channel, to the best of my faith's ability. I wasn't trained. God didn't tell me how to teach it. I didn't go to Bible school. So I'm doing the best I can, right? And this is Religion Wink TV, and my spiritual ears stay. So let's get into it. Jesus restores a demon possessed man. We talked about how, like, some of the beefs on YouTube, if somebody gets into it with Tasha K, it would be Tasha K against the other content creator and all their following. It would be Wendy Williams against all of, say, Cardi B and the Barty gang. It would be Nicki Minaj against Cardi B and all her, Barty gang. So it's many against one. And I said, well, there's got to be a story like that in the Bible. So today is Set Your Soul Free Sundays on this channel, and I'm going to do the best I can to help you get free. Now, reading from chapter 5, verse 1 through 20, verse 1 says, they went across the lake to the region of the Gerasenes. When Jesus got out of the boat, a man with an impure spirit came from the tombs to meet him. Now, why is this so important? Because this is the account of many against one. A lot of people don't know Jesus was up against, Christ was up against, the Messiah, Yeshua, the real Son of God, was up against a lot of enemies in his day. It was him against many. There was the Pharisees, the scribes. They were the Jews, some of the Hebrew people who turned on him, his own relatives. And there was the Romans. They wanted to kill every Hebrew baby under 2 in the days of Moses, in the days of Christ. So he was always up against many people. So one day he goes out, got out the boat, and a man with an impure spirit came from the tombs to meet him. 3. This man lives in the tombs, and no one could bind him anymore, not even with chains. So you got a lot of people out here that cannot be contained anymore. No matter what you do to these people, they're so out of control, so strong, so powerful, almost to the point of demonic. Nothing can bring them back to their sanity. They keep going and going and going and going, right? They get stronger and stronger and stronger. They draw more people in, more people in, more people in, right? And people became afraid of these content creators and other people in the world. You know, Trump is one of those people. Not to talk bad about the president, God forbid, I do not want to commit treason, right? But anyway, it's like these people become so powerful. What can you do to hold them? There was nothing, not even chains they can do here. Verse 4. For he had often been chained hand and foot, but he tore the chains apart and broke the irons on his feet. No one was strong enough to subdue him. 5. Night and day among the tombs and in the hills he would cry out and cut himself with stones. Now this sounding like a madman here. This sounding like, just a normal person out here in the tombs living. He's demon possessed, okay? They can't contain him anymore. He done broke the irons, the chains, and he's just wild out there, right? And he start cutting himself, right, with stone. So 6 goes on to say, why does this matter at this point? Who is this man? What is his name? What does he represent? How many of them are they there? Is it just this one man? Is it just one demon? Right? So it goes on to say, 6, when he saw Jesus, when he saw Yeshua from a distance, he ran and fell on his knees in front of him. 7, he shouted at the top of his voice. Christ didn't have to say anything here. Sometimes all you have to do is start walking toward this demon possessed man that nothing can contain him anymore, and he'll fall at your feet. If he know who you are and know who you represent and knows whose DNA you carry through the word of God, he will bow down to you. And this is what he'll say. 7, he shouted at the top of his voice, what do you want with me, Yeshua, son of the Most High God? This man knows who he is. People are going to know who you are, people. It's going to be many against you, and they're going to know who you are. Check this out. It goes on to say, in God's name. In whose name? He ain't saying the devil's name. He says, in God's name, don't torture me. And he's speaking like with exclamation points and things like this here. 8 goes on to say, for Yeshua, for the Christ, has said to him, come out of this man, you impure spirit, you impure spirit. Then it goes on 9. Then Jesus asked him, what is your name? See, face to face, it only looks like Christ is speaking to one person here, y'all. To the 2 people under the sound of my voice. Before we go any further, Father, let us please put the mind of Christ on, that our mind is protected as we read about demons and things like that, people who call themselves names from the underworld, because this is Christ showing us how he dealt with and restored demon-possessed people. Many against one. Here we go. Verse 9 says, then Jesus asked him, what is your name? He responded, my name is Legion. He replied, for we are many. Here we go. Many against one, y'all. It's a whole bunch of demons up in this man named Legion. All kinds of demons up in this man, right? Many against one. Y'all think about it. When you can't, when you come against somebody in this world and they seem like they're just so destructive, and there's nothing you can do with them. They're wreaking so much havoc in the world, and there's nothing you can do with them because they're many. In that one person, they're many. Their name is Legion. And it's many against one. That's why sometimes it's hard to fight the devil and you think you're going to win this battle or that battle. But sometimes it's one. It was me against 7 women in that office, and all the women probably had many legions with them. You understand what I'm saying? It's going to be many against one. Sometimes you may lose the battle. But here, of course, Christ didn't lose. So what I'm trying to encourage people to do today is just basically take from Christ, follow his ways. He encountered everything we're encountering. If he overcame and restored demon possessed men, why can't we? If he ran into one man who called himself Legion because he knew he was many and many was with him, standing there talking to one man, Christ, then we got to take into consideration when we see these very powerful, wicked people in the world, it's because they're many, right? So it goes on to say, 10, and he begged Jesus again and again not to send them out of the area. 11, a large herd of pigs was feeding on the nearby hillside. 12, the demons begged Jesus, send us among the pigs, allow us to go into them. He gave them permission, and that's why I believe God do not want us to eat pork. And I think that's why people who do consume pork when we know we shouldn't, or too much of it, it's because the demons are in there causing the high blood pressure, the diabetes, the heart attacks, the poor circulation, the bad cholesterol. If Christ is telling you he gave permission for the demons to go into the pigs, this should be a good enough reason for people to stop wanting to eat pork. Now, I told God, I don't know about y'all, but bacon is the best damn evil I ever tasted. I don't care what nobody say, Lord. But I've been able to wean myself off of it. You know what I'm saying? Every now and then I may go to a family member's house, but I know we're not supposed to eat the pork. But this is a reason why 5 years ago I said, wait a minute. If the legions, who are many, just went into the pigs, then these pigs are demonic. Even the Old Testament says don't eat the animal that have the cloven hooves, and the pig don't sweat, the pig roll in mud, the pig eats its own shit. And no, so there's a lot of things and a lot of truth to this. But let's find out what happened, okay? So verse 11, it says, send us among the pigs, allow us to go into them. 13, he gave them permission because the Hebrew Israelites weren't eating pig at that point in time. And if you want to know where this took place and who are big on pig eating, check out where the Gerasenes is. A lot of people tell you this account happened in Galilee, but Christ went through the tempest. He went through the Mediterranean Sea. This takes place outside of the catacombs over in Spain. These tombs are that we're talking about right here. They love the pig. Pigs was not breeded or herded in Jerusalem at that time. They were in the rest of the world, but the Hebrew Israelites did not have pigs amongst their grazing. They didn't. They had oxen and sheep and lamb and goats, and they didn't have pigs, even though pigs existed. But when Christ went out to go talk to the 12 tribes of Israel, people say he just stayed in Jerusalem and in Galilee. No, it says he got into a boat and they hit a tempest. They went through the Mediterranean Sea. They came to a cliff. It had catacombs there. Go look over in Spain, y'all. When they celebrate the Day of the Dead, somewhere around Cinco de Mayo, like the Spanish, the Latino people do, in Puerto Rico and stuff, the Spaniards still celebrate the Day of the Dead over there. They eat the pig. This is where, check out where the Gerasenes is, y'all. Thank you to the 3 people listening. So anyway, he says he gave them permission, and the impure spirits came out and went into the pigs. See, these spirits can come out of a man and go into animals. And I believe this stuff, y'all. If you believe Christ exists, you have to believe other spirits exist as well. Do you worship those spirits? No, 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 no. You don't worship them, but you have to believe the devil and all these other stories that, to an extent, exist, or the demonic spirits exist, based off of this account right here. So many against one. When Christ came to the man, he said, "What's your name?" He said, "My name is Legion, for we are many." This is Christ standing there against many, many demons on these YouTube streets. In the world, there's powerful, powerful people like Trump who just can't seem to be brought down. Like the KK, these people are just, they're many, many, y'all, many. So it goes on to say, in 13, he gave them permission, and the impure spirits came out and went into the pigs. The herd, about 2,000 in number, rushed down the steep bank into the lake and were drowned. Now, again, where they're talking about these cliffs are over in Spain, where these pigs right here went off. Did they all die? Did some of them get eaten? Did they get herded again? Have we been grazing on these demonic pigs since the times of this right here, this story? It is weird, but this should make you want to not eat pork, guys. Seriously. 14, those tending the pigs ran off and reported this in the town and countryside, and the people went out to see what happened. 15, when they came to Jesus, to the Christ, to the Messiah, to Yeshua, they saw the man who had been possessed by the legion of demons sitting there, dressed and in his right mind, and they were afraid, because this man was never in his right mind. Like so many people we see today, they're not in their right mind. This man was cutting himself with stone. This man was gotten so strong, so powerful, so demonic, right, in his ways. People became afraid of him. The chains they had him in, he broke out of the chains, and he was just wandering like a madman. Clothes off, tearing his. Now they see this man sitting in his right mind. What happened? He had an encounter with Yeshua. He had an encounter with the Christ. Can you stand in the gap with so many of these demons out here that need an encounter with the Christ? See, everybody in the world ain't bad. They just many. They don't realize they many. And sometimes it's just me up against many. That's why God says the harvest is plentiful. There's a lot of souls waiting to be gathered, but the laborers are few. I can't get to everybody, but you can help me get to people. And the people you help get to people can help get to people. And we all out here helping get to these people. Christ wasn't afraid of them. He didn't want everybody to go to hell. He could have sent that man straight to hell. But he restored a demon-possessed man. Right? He said, "Come out, you unclean spirit, you impure spirit," right? The other account, I'm going to get into that real quick, because it is different when you read the translated. The further it's translated out, it doesn't have a greater impact, right? So it goes on to say, those 16, he was in his right mind, and people were afraid, y'all. They were more afraid of him being in his right mind than they was afraid of him when he was acting crazy like the legion he was. And I told you, fear is what causes people to give up the fight, to not overcome, to be overtaken by the enemy. The enemy could be an ant, but because you're afraid of an ant, that ant will terrorize you until you either kill it or it crawls on wherever the heck the ant wants to go, right? Don't be afraid, people. I don't know how to cast out these demons or anything, but you have to put on the mind of Christ. You have to begin to walk in his way. Then you begin to live his truth and you begin to mimic his life. That's what the way, the truth, and the life is. It leads you back to the Most High God. All right, let me get on. 16. Those who had seen it told the people what had happened to the demon possessed man, and told about the pigs as well. 17. Then the people begin to plead with Yeshua, the Christ. They got Jesus here to leave their region. Oh, they want him out now. Oh, he done took care of the many legions and took care of the many demons. Now you want him out. Because they didn't know who really Christ was at that time. But Legion knew. Why these people want to kick the Messiah out? You think they would want to keep him and hold on to him, right? But they kicked him out. Now, would this be the Galileans? Would this be the Nazarites, Nazarenes? Would this be Bethlehem, Judah? No, he was welcome there. This was another part of the world. Check the Gerasenes, check the catacombs over in Spain, and this is where this account took place. I'm doing my work over here, y'all. Not for nothing. Give me my props on that because I study to show myself approved. Verse 18. As Yeshua, the Christ, the Messiah, Jesus they have here, was getting into the boat, the man who had the demon possessed begged to go with him. 19. Jesus did not let him go. You think he think another demon gonna pop up in him? That's not it. Because Jesus had to go back to Galilee. He had to go back to his homeland, right? But he said, go home to your own people. Because he wasn't of Christ. He wasn't his people. He said, you go to your own people and tell them how much the Lord has done for you and how he has had mercy on you. 20. So the man went away and began to tell the Decapolis how much Jesus had done for him. Check out the word Decapolis. And all the people were amazed. Many against one here, y'all. Many against one. I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit of music. I'm going to right here the same account and read it from this book. Check out the Gadarenes because it's called the Gadarenes here. It's called the Gadarenes over there. Check out the Gadarenes in the catacombs and the ledge and the cliff and how the region of Galilee. You got to remember there was not a lot of cliffs in Galilee. Where the water up, it looks a little frozen here. And I'm gonna here we go. Here we go. So that was from the new international version. And I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. And oh no. All right, hold on, guys. Okay, we're back. Okay, looks like it's gone black. Hello to the two people watching. Thank you. So now I'm going to read from my Bible. I love the way the King James sticks as close to the original account of the Bible. It's the same story, Mark chapter 5. Now, as we just read in the first account, it was about Um, it was about pretty much, it said the gasoline. So just the whole wordplay and trying to manipulate the situation. But here we go, verse 5. And they came over to the other side of the sea into the country of the Gadarenes. Check out the Gadarenes. 2. And when he was come out the ship, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit. 3. Who had his dwelling among the tombs, and no man could bind him, no, not with chains. 4. Because that he had been often bound with fetters and chains, and the chains had been plucked asunder by him, and the fetters broken in pieces, neither could any man tame him. You know people like that on these YouTube streets. It's because it's many against one. When Christ ran into this man we're talking about, he said, "What's your name?" He said, "My name Legion, for we are many." See, sometimes you think you're fighting against one person and can't defeat him because he's rolling with many. And then when he got a posse and they all rolling with many, it's many against one, y'all. Just like it was with Christ right here, many against one. This is what how it goes down. Verse 4. Because that he had been often bound, oh, we read that too. Because that he had been often bound, oh, we read that too. Verse 5. And always, night and day, he was in the mountains and in the tombs, and no man could bind him, no, not with chains. Answer the same. I read the NIV translation. I'm reading it King James. And then it goes on to say 6. But when he saw Jesus, the Yeshua, the Messiah, the Christ, afar off, he ran and worshiped him. Now, when strength they fear the word of God, because they know that God is God. They fear the word of God because they know that God is God. So when he saw Jesus, the Yeshua, the Messiah, the Christ, afar off, he ran and worshiped him. God some of this stuff down here in the earth. Had a voice and said, "What, Most High God?" How he knows this? Jesus didn't say, "Hey, I'm Jesus, the Son of God. I'm Yeshua, the Son of the Most High God." Walking up to this demon. You know how many men that walked up to this particular man, tried to tame him, tried to bound him, tried to, put strongholds on him, chains and fetters. Couldn't do anything with him, but he see one man walking afar off. Is it the way Jesus walked? Did he walk with a swag? You know how our brothers walk in our community? Did he see the light in him? What did he know? How did he know? I'm telling you. Don't sleep on these things. There's many against one out here, y'all. Especially on these YouTube streets. But in life in general. Many against one. When you find yourself up against hard opposition, take a step back and look at it for what it is. Ask them, is your name Legion? You'd be surprised what comes out of people's spirits and out of their mouths. You'd be surprised. Because these demons talk big. You'd be surprised. So verse 7 says, and cried with a loud voice and said, "What have I to do with thee, Jesus, the Son of the Most High God? I adjure thee by God that thou do not torment me." So he know this man can torment him. He says, "I'm begging you by God, don't torment me. You know it's not my time to go. I have 1,000 years to reign. Don't you play with me, Jesus." Jesus could have killed him right then and there, could have sent him back to hell. But again, let's see what he does. So it goes on 8. For he said unto him, "Come out of the man, thou unclean spirit." See, the other account was, "Come out, you impure spirit." No, you're unclean spirit. I love the accounts that Christ speaks in the King James version. And 9, it goes on to say, and he asked him, "What is thy name?" These people have a name. Now, were you expecting the name of the man before he became Legion? Or his name could have been Benaiah or something like that. I'm just using a Hebrew name. Could have been Joshua, whatever. But he told the Messiah his name was Legion, for we are many. Can't nobody do nothing with me. Couldn't nobody tame me. But now here you come. I fall before your face and I ask you not to torment me. Wow, can't we get to the place like Christ where these demons just fall before us and say, please don't torment me? Hmm. They're many, yo. They're many. On this Easter Sunday, they are many against one. So it goes on to say, and he answered, saying, my name is Legion, for we are many. Many against one. It was Legion, many. Now it was just one man, right, against the whole town. They couldn't do nothing with this man. They couldn't subdue him. They couldn't contain him. The chains couldn't keep him. He couldn't keep his clothes on. They couldn't do nothing with him. Now here come the Christ. Here come the Messiah. Here go many legions now. See, the town didn't know he was legion and had all them demons in him. But now Christ know he's up against many. Was he afraid? Did he run? Did he tuck his tail between his head and say, I'm defeated? No. Come out. Come out, you unclean spirits. But on YouTube, people be like, oh, I'm just saying, oh, Mona Simone is a demon. Allegedly. I'm just saying, people have said that about many people. I'm just throwing a name out here. They say Religion Wing TV is a demon. Why would y'all let this demon loose on YouTube when Christ says, come out, you unclean spirit? So if I personally ever encounter demons anywhere in life, I'm going to ask them their name. Come out, you unclean spirit. And it goes on to say, verse 10, and he besought him much that he would not send them away out of the country. 11. There was there nigh unto the mountains a great herd of swine feeding. 2012. And all the devils besought him, saying, and all the who? And all the devils that was in this man besought Christ, saying, send us into the swine that we may enter into them. Why they want to go into the pig? And today people still eat the pig. 13. And forthwith Jesus, the Messiah, Christ, gave them leave, and the unclean spirits went out and entered into the swine, and the herd ran violently down a steep place into the sea. They were about 2,000 and were choked in the sea. This has a little smiley face behind it, though. I don't think all them demon pigs went in the sea. I think some of them was reherded and reconceived, and you probably still eating on some of these demon pigs today. It's real, people. If you can, wean yourself off of pork. 14. And they that fed the swine fled and told in the city and in the country, and they went out to see what that was done. 15. And they came to Jesus, the Messiah, the Christ, the anointed one of God, and see him that was possessed with the devil, and and had the legion, sitting and clothed and in his right mind, and they were afraid. They saw this man who was never in his right mind, acting a fool out here, cutting himself, so strong, people can't contain him, can't do nothing with him, just running, rapping through the countryside, through the cities, just a madman. Many against one, y'all. When you see these people so angry, so hostile, so bitter, you see all these different devils and demons. They're many, y'all, many against one. You may find yourself up against another content creator, but then they have their following against you. That's many against one. Like I said, you may go to kick a kickball playing a game. You're up to kick the ball, but nonetheless, your team is behind you, but it's you against the rest of the field. When a batter goes up to bat, it's the batter against the 9 people out playing first, second, third, shortstop, left, right, center. When a kick return goes to kick the ball, it's the kick return person, right? Against the defense rushing in. Many against one. But when you're dealing with demons and the anger and the hatred and the strife and the bitterness coming out of one person, many against one. And that many may have a following that act just as much as demonic as they do. And they all could be legion. So you got one person whose name is Legion, and many are in that person. And then if Legion is rolling with Legion twin brother, or they triplets, then you got Legion, you got the first in command, second in command. Everybody is many. And you think it's just you and the content creator, or you and your brother, or you and your sister, or you and your mom or dad going head to head, you and your boss or whatever. There's many against one, y'all. There's many against one. For whatever reason, it's in the Bible and it's in the world today. And I always tell y'all, there's nothing new under the sun. Y'all up against many, and many are against one. So, verse 15, and they come to Jesus. This book just, when I read it, I automatically put Yeshua, but I don't want to confuse the masses. Y'all know him as Jesus. I know him as Yeshua. I know him as Christ, which means the anointed one. I know him as the Son of the Most High God. And so I'll say Jesus, but just know his name is not Jesus. So 15, and they come to Jesus, the Messiah, the Most High God, the Son of the Most High God, and see him that was possessed, that the devil, and had the legion sitting and clothed in all his right mind, and they became afraid. Like, what's going on? What happened to this man? Who are you that you come along and you're able to subdue many? You're able to bring this man down to his knees. We couldn't even keep him in chains and fetters. Who are you? Listen to what happened. 16. Now this is still many against one, because it's like the people there that just witnessed this, they about to turn on the Messiah. It's 16. And they that saw it told them how it befell to him that was possessed with the devil. It says demon. And also concerning the swine. 17. And they began to pray him to depart out of their coast. Like, you gotta go. Oh, we've been fighting with this demon, trying to subdue him for 100,000 years, since the days of you, Jesus. And all of a sudden you come along and you just get rid of the demon and this man in his right mind. You get out of here. No, go. We don't want no parts of you. Many against one, right? No matter how you look at it. Many against one. This is a good content. This is a good title. I'm about to wrap it up. We've been a little under an hour, which is pretty good. So they pray him away. Now, again, reiterate, they want him to leave their coast. So if Jesus was in Galilee, he wouldn't have to leave. If he was in Bethlehem, Judah, he wouldn't have to leave nowhere. If he was by the seas of Galilee, he wouldn't have to leave nowhere. He had went out into this world to reach the lost sheep. Remember, people had scattered and went abroad as far as Spain, as far as Asia, Turkey. They was going their way. You know what I'm saying? The Gadarenes. Look up Spain, the Gadarenes, the catacombs, the tombs, and do the research for yourself. So we're almost done here. And 18 goes on to say, and when he was coming to the ship, he that had been possessed with the devil prayed him that he be with, he come with him. And 19, Howbeit Christ suffered him not, but saith unto him, Go home to thy friends and tell them how great things the Lord hath done for thee, and hath had compassion on you. No, go tell your friends, go tell your people, go to your own country land and tell them what happened. 20. And he departed and began to publish in Docopolis. Where's Docopolis? If you look up Docopolis, I bet you it's in the more territory of Spain than it is Israel. Then I'm just almost certain it's somewhere through the Mediterranean Sea. Because they said Christ was on the boat sleep and there was a great tempest. We know a sea don't give you a great tempest outside of Galilee. But if you're going through the Mediterranean Sea, that water kicks up. It'll rock a boat. It'll make you think you're about to sink. You know what I'm saying? It'll make you think that boat is about to, oh my God. But to be in the sea, a sea doesn't give you that kind of tempest and whirlwinds with the winds and the rockings of the waves. Read the Bible for yourself. And when you start reading it historically, it leads you to places geographically today. Check out the Gadarenes. I bet you're going to come up with it over in Spain. Milagros, he is risen. Praise the Lord. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Milagros, I was just telling a story about Christ when he went to meet this man he was demon possessed. He said, What's your name? He says, My name is Legion, for we are many. So it was one, many against one, right? And I kind of use the example like your 7 stars moderator. If say Pretty T came at 7 stars allegedly, it would be Pretty T, all of her following against one, right? That's usually how it is. When you go to kick a football, it's the kick return, right? The person kicking the ball, and then he's being bum rushed by the defense, right? When you play kickball out in the park, it's you against the rest of the field. Even though you're part of a team, when you go up to kick the ball or when you get up to bat, it's you against many, right? And the Lord brought me here to pretty much tell people that there's nothing new under the sun. Christ himself was up against many. And this is how he dealt with it, you all. So this is Religion Wing TV, and my spiritual ears stay ringing, y'all. Right, Milagros, absolutely. So just sharing, some biblical scripture for the resurrection day today. I did a video, why do you celebrate Easter? You guys go check that out, comment on it. But yeah, I just wanted to share that. Many against one. So, when you see that Milagros, there's like these real powerful people in the world. You can't take them down. Nothing nobody say or do can break them. Just like this Legion, they had chains on them. The town couldn't do nothing with this man. It's like we see so many people like that on YouTube and in the world today. They need an encounter with the Messiah, right? So I'm encouraging people, seek the Messiah today. This is his day. He is definitely risen. And another question I have, Milagros, before I go, and I know you noticed this. Today is Easter Sunday. Today is the resurrection, right? But then we'll have Easter Sunday and the resurrection in March. How is that possible? How is that possible? When he only rose from the grave one specific day. That's the day I'm seeking out. That's the day I seek to know one day. Like, why would they deceive us and not give us that day? That's the day we need. Exactly, sweetie. It's a good question, right? It's one that, hopefully we'll get an answer to, but it's kind of strange that they would have it in April, have it in March, and go back and forth. And it's I'm still spiritually, I'm not there yet. I'm still seeking why the resurrection, like Christmas and Halloween and New Year's and St. Patrick's Day, all have the same date. The day changed because the year changed. You know, if it's today, this year, next year, Easter Sunday should be, the resurrection is on a Sunday, but the day moved next year. So if your birthday's today, next year your birthday will be on Monday. That's what I'm trying to say, right? So, but it's not like that with the resurrection. I know it has to fall on a Sunday because they say he rose on a Sunday. I get that. But what Sunday? And why isn't it the same date? If today is Resurrection Sunday, next year, April 21st, it don't matter what day it fall on, even though we celebrate it on Sunday of that year, it's still resurrection. That's the day. Not when it comes to the resurrection of Christ, though. It just seems like something weird is surrounding this. And I hope I'm not the only person. They want to keep us guessing. Absolutely. I feel like they don't want the power to be exuded on that day. Like it's a lot of power today because we believe this is the day he rose. But then next year coming, he have it on March 25th and say Easter is in March next year on the 25th. Then we believe that's the day he rose. There's something wrong with that. Something totally wrong with that. That's why I spend time with the Lord. That's why he had me over here studying. That's why he had me share what I share with you guys, because I don't think Christians and people think about the things I think about. And I know some people do, but they're afraid of the backlash, the controversy, and the rejection. Because when you talk about God, usually in a place like YouTube, social media, you get shunned anyway, right? But then when you talk differently than what the Christians are saying, it's like, wait a minute, I'd rather stick with Christianity, but that might not be the way. That could be totally wrong. So I'm learning to stick with the word of God, and hopefully it's totally right, even though we know they lie. But this is me, guys, Religion Wink TV. And my spiritual ear stays. So when the music go off, this will end this edition of Many Against One. Think about it, y'all. You come up against a lot of situations where it's many against one. And all I can say is look how Christ dealt with it. I mean, when you got some powerful people that you can't contain, nobody can take down, nothing can slow them down, nothing can stop them. They just go, 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 go. They're many. Their name may just be Legion, y'all. They may have multiple, not just anger, not just hatred. There's a lot of different spirits that dwell in people, and that's many against one. So be careful when you're out there this Easter Sunday, Resurrection Sunday. Remember, don't be so consumed with the Easter bunny, but be more consumed with the resurrected Christ, right? Don't spend all your money out getting Easter eggs, and buy somebody a Bible today. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back to the true worship of the way things should be. Yep, Milagros, I love you. Thank you so much. Tell Seven I said hey over there. And you all have a good day. I'm gonna let the music play out. I'm here. We went out around between 12 and 4. About 30 of us got together. We had greens, macaroni and cheese, mac salad, potato salad, rolls, 3 different kinds of chicken. We had meatballs. What else? What else? What else? Oh, baked ziti was there as well. Plenty of drinks. Variety from old to young. Thank you, Milagros. I can't do on this tablet right here. I can't do the emojis, but I could do like that. Thank you, baby. I appreciate you. So yeah, We got about maybe less than a minute and the song will be out, guys. I may come back and do just the open live. One day I'm gonna get it to where you guys come over here and let me talk about whatever it is or hear me out. But Milagros, you know where two or three are gathered in his name, right? He's in the midst of us. But it'd be cool to have, like, 30, 40 people in my live chat one day on my own, with my content and me bringing the noise, right? We'll get there. I love the pace it's going at. I'm not in no rush because we remember the race is not for the swift, but for those who can endure till the end, right? That sounds great. Absolutely. I'll just come back and see how everybody Easter was and say goodnight. God bless you all. This is Religion Wink TV and my spiritual ears stay. Thank you, Milagros. Thank you so much. God bless you, sweetie, and I'll talk to you later. I appreciate you. Thank you.